This is Dumbed Down Life number 41, the start of Big Draw Month.
I can see them moving through the best. Please help me chase the monsters from my head. Away, chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters away. Chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters away. Chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters, chasing the monsters.
Common Ground with Monsters, and that was after the introduction that Lance put together for us this week with so what's the piece of music, Lance? You know, you added it there, you must have found it somewhere.
I did. I'm not sure what it's called, but most people would know it as the gallery music from... We see, this is the thing, I always thought it was from Take Heart.
Yes.
It's not.
What?
Well,
from
apparently...
Vision On.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you see, I don't remember Vision On, but I remember that piece of music, and I'm sure it was from Take Heart. But according to YouTube, all the Take Heart music was completely different, and that was Vision On gallery music.
Yeah, the interesting part that I remember about Vision On was the way that the title was actually written as Vision On, and then it was a mirror image of it underneath. They then turned it up on its side and it looked like a praying mantis sort of a thing, which was one of the tricks that Tony Hart did. And yeah, because you don't remember Vision On at all?
Well, I think I must do, but I think it's probably all sort of mixed in together.
Yeah.
I remember bits of something that I think is Take Heart, and it was probably Vision On, and vice versa.
I think I'm not sure whether Take Heart was like a part of Vision On, but certainly a lot of the things that Tony Hart went on to do in his own series started off in Vision On. The whole the football fields where he's painting a piece of artwork using the white line machine and stuff like that. He started doing all of that on Vision On, which, if memory serves, was sort of a Blue Peter kind of an attempt to battle against Blue Peter, but on ITV, of course.
You see, I can only ever remember a programme with Tony Hart just as himself standing at desks, drawing pieces of things and whatever, and then doing the big pictures and all of that. Yeah, that's all I can remember.
Yeah, the big pictures were the good ones, where it's almost like Rolf Harris. Can you tell what it is yet? Because he'd be drawing something and you're seeing it from ground level, and then they'd pan out and you'd see that it's a dinosaur, and then of course they'd use a bit of camera trickery to animate it and so forth.
Yeah.
But of course, there's two reasons why we've actually used that piece of music at the beginning of the recording this week, which are. Go on.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it's the start of the Big Draw month, and I haven't got the webpage open, so I'm hoping you can give us the information.
I did have it open until I rebooted my computer.
Yeah, as did I. But I can tell you the other bit while you find that one. Tony Hart, who obviously we've just been talking about, has recently suffered 2 strokes, and so he can now no longer do any art. He's lost the use of his hands, so he's even in retirement, basically all he used to do was get up, go for a walk, and then go down into his little studio and continue to produce art. And now he can't. He's more or less confined to a chair, and he's looked after 2 permanent carers.
Oh no.
Yes.
So I wonder if there's any modern way of allowing him to create art, a la Stephen Hawking sort of way. I mean, the guy was extremely talented, and he could make a piece of art using a white line machine on a football field. So I would think that all the while he's got some kind of mobility, then he would have the ability to do something.
You'd have thought, wouldn't you? I mean, maybe they could put him in an electric chair with a little paint roller underneath it and let him drive around a football pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how it's affected him, whether it's the control that's the problem or whether it's perception or but yeah, certainly he was one of the main people that was entertaining us when we were growing up, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for any younger viewers, listeners even.
Younger viewers or Americans.
Or American. Well, no, not even Americans, actually. They probably won't know who this guy is.
Exactly.
But Mark Spate, the guy, the children's presenter who committed suicide a little while ago, you can tell from the stuff that he used to do that he was very, very influenced by Tony Hart.
Right. No, I never saw Mark Spate did, so I don't know what.
Well, he used to do the sort of drawings where you'd have coloured paper covered in wax or something, and he'd scratch bits off and come up with a nice faux rainbow picture, or he'd do the large scale pictures as well. Very much like Tony Hart.
There was one person in between those two. There's Tony Hart, Mark Spate, and then in the middle there was the guy that used to do Number 73.
Oh, Neil. Oh, crikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that was sort of the area that I was raised on. Tony Hart, then
Buchanan?
went to Neil Buchanan, and then sort of stopped watching those programs because I was about 18 or 19 by then, so I didn't want to watch them anymore. Of course, it was Tony Hart, Vision On, and Take Heart that started Morph, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, which is Aardman Entertainment, who now do Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit, and all of the other programs, the other films and programs that have come off of that.
The Creature Comforts,
Creature
easily turn off and honourable.
Flushed Away.
Oh, that was them, wasn't it? Yeah.
And what was the other? The Chicken Run, Great Escape.
Yep.
Mel Gibson. Chicken Run. Well, Chicken Run. That was it. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Run, yeah.
With regards to the Big Draw, This is actually a national thing, so not an American one, but just a national attempt to get people drawing. This is the 9th year of the event, and what actually happens is that there are special events in libraries and galleries and clubs all over the UK, starting, as Lance said, at 1st of October, but the main events are focused around the middle of the month, or around 11th of October. If you go to the website, and I shall put links in the show notes, they actually have a long list of all the different places all over the country, what events they're holding, and in many of the cases the events are actually free, and these vary from such things as going into a local fire station and drawing things that are in the fire station to make up a mural to actually go in the fire station, or what was the other one I saw? Windsor Castle is having an event where they want people to come in and draw what they think would be needed to successfully penetrate the walls of Windsor Castle, and they're going to make a big display out of all the pictures and ideas from that, from the sublime to the ridiculous, the huge great monster trucks or tanks or whatever you want to draw. But the idea is just to get everybody to pick up a pencil. I actually did that today, and it was weird. Thinking about it, I don't think I've actually drawn anything in at least 5 years.
Really?
I can't. No, I can't remember doing anything like that in a long time.
I've done some within the last sort of year. I got a book on fairies, believe it or not, drawing sort of fantasy type fairies and that. I used to really enjoy art when I was at school.
Yeah.
And I wasn't bad at it, but I haven't sort of done any in any seriousness since I left school, really.
Well, I'm trying to sort of get a meme thing going on LiveJournal. I'm not too enthusiastic about it because I don't think everybody's got a scanner, but I'd like to see sort of everybody try and do either like a self-portrait or something. I mean, I did one today, and it's, you kind of look at it and go, oh dear, but draw yourself, scan it in, and stick it up on your journal. Pick up a pencil, do some art, because it is Big Draw Month.
And send us the picture, and we'll put it on the DDL website.
We'll put it up on the wall.
They can see it in me. Better off dead than struggle so hard.
vision of a drowned woman, Dr. Xander Crow has found himself trapped in the mysterious town of Wormwood, a prisoner within the old house atop the hill. Now, as secrets are revealed and horror becomes undeniable, sinister new shadows have begun to creep across this strange town, lost forever at the crossroads of darkness and fate. Welcome to Wormwood. Wormwood, Crossroads, is produced and distributed by Habit Forming Films, LLC. Copyright 2008. Wormwood is a serialized podcast drama and cannot be distributed in part or whole outside of the podcast format without written consent from the creators. Visit www.wormwoodshow.com. Thank you for listening, and welcome to town.
That was The Enemy is Listening and Rockstar, followed by a promo for another audio novel that I've been listening to called Wormwood. You've not listened to it yet, have you?
I haven't, no, but I can't help thinking of the prison.
The prison?
Yeah, Wormwood Scrubs. Have you not heard of Wormwood Scrubs?
Yeah, do you know, that hadn't crossed my mind. What it is, you know, table rappers?
Yes.
It's along that sort of line. It's very much an occult type of story, but it is set in the modern day.
Okay.
Now, that was a promo for the second season, and I'm only listening to the first season, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I now know how the first season ends. The main character is Xander Crow, Dr. Xander Crow. And he basically, excuse me, the racetrack's going by again.
Ding 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 ding
Ding ding ding ding ding ding. Yeah, what was I saying? Yes, it's Wormwood. Xander Crow. He's a psychologist, doctor type bloke, and he has visions. And he ends up going to this village to find a dead woman. And I'm not going to give any more away. It's definitely worth a listen, and it's, if you imagine Twin Peaks and Buffy, you've kind of got the idea of what it's like.
Is this again one where the guy writes the theme tune, writes the song, writes the story, reads the story, does all the voices, or
no, definitely not does all the voices. There's two writers, and neither of them are actually in the show.
Oh, right.
And they have a cast of voice actors to it's a radio serial more than an audio book.
So more a la Radio 4 than...
Or Children of the Gods.
Right, okay.
Again, much like that, it's properly acted with sound effects and that kind of thing.
Oh, that's
but it's, yeah, if you cross Children of the Gods with table rappers, then you've kind of got the concept.
Which is probably better then that we're catching this at season 2, because I know that those sort of productions, if they're of any good quality, tend to take a lot longer to produce each show.
Now, they come out each week.
They do? Oh, blimey.
Because what they do, if the first two shows as such that you can download, one is the music,
yeah,
and the second one is a bit of a behind the scenes, and what they do is they sit down and write all the episodes. It's very much done like a TV show.
Yeah.
The writers will sit down, they'll come out with a plot line, and then they'll get individual writers to write each episode, and then once they're all done, they'll get all the voice actors together for a day and record 8 shows in the day.
Right, okay, so they're not relying on people sending in different clips.
Nope.
Right, okay, because that's what takes a lot of time with Children of the Gods, is that the actual voice actors are all over the world.
Yeah.
It takes a while for it to come in.
No, these guys are all in one location, they get them all together, and they literally sit down and hammer out 8 shows, record all the dialogue, and then do all the editing afterwards. And they do release one per week.
Okay.
But I mean, there's 27 episodes in the first season, so you've got plenty to listen
Catch
to.
up on, yeah.
It's
good.
definitely worth a listen.
Yeah, thanks. I shall give that a try. And of course, the those of you that didn't catch it, you can rewind it and listen again. Or the show notes will have the link.
It certainly will. So, remember a little while ago when we were talking about Google Maps and what you can do with Google Maps, and we mentioned about Steve Fossett.
Yes.
That Google released all their maps in the hope of trying to find the wreckage.
Yeah.
So I'm just closing my window.
Don't jump.
There we go. I can't. There's chicken wire outside my window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it seems that they've found his plane.
They have found the plane now, have they? Because when I saw it earlier during the day, they'd found his license. And I was thinking that's a bit unusual. They'd find just a license.
Yeah, well, no, they found the license,
And a wallet stuffed full of $100 bills.
bills, and a sweatshirt.
Oh, right.
But now they have actually found the plane, and they've identified it as his plane using the tail registration number. It was the plane that he took off in.
So it's going to be interesting to find out how his sweatshirt and wallet were not on him.
Well, they do say on this the article that it's unlikely that they will find a body. If they don't find a body within days, chances are that animals will have eaten him.
Where was this? This was like Arizona or something, wasn't it? Or
I'm trying to find it. I'm desperately trying to find it.
and the animals
Mammoth Lakes in California.
So the animals would have dragged the body away from the wreckage, and
To wherever
the
they're
clothes would have just been left behind whenever the animals took him away. Ew.
basically, yeah.
Ew,
So
yeah.
it's unlikely that they will find a body now,
Oh,
but
dear.
it would definitely was his plane. So it looks like he definitely is dead.
Well, that's good because it's an end for the family, obviously, and I think there was a lot of speculation that he had faked his death because they couldn't find the plane, and this
Yeah.
at least puts an end to that and makes it sort of final for the family. But the other thing would be interesting now to go back and look at the photographs, knowing where the plane is,
To see if you
to
can
see if
see
there
it.
was anything there. Yeah.
Because I did read in the earlier story, it doesn't seem to be on here now, but it was quite a long way out of the search area that they were looking at.
Oh, right.
In more or less the opposite direction.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find the bit that said that.
Yeah, because they had high-resolution pictures of the area especially taken for the search, that you would overlap over the top of the Google Maps, didn't they?
Yeah. Where is it? No, I'm struggling to find it. No, it's not there. It would seem it's not. They've changed the story somewhat.
Yeah. But, well, it's it's like I say, it's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing that he's finally been found, but it's a shame that you had to go, really.
Well, it is, yeah.
Did you have any other? So you had something else to talk about? Because I know the problem is when we're doing these recordings, I talk to you during the day and you say stop.
Oh, I know what it was. Yes,
What was
I know what
what was
it was. iTunes shutting down, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. The threat of iTunes to close its store if they're forced to pay more royalties to the record companies, because they're basically running iTunes at just about profitable, and they're not willing to charge the consumer anymore, but they're not willing to soak up the price either, because they do run it at a profit.
Yeah.
So they say, we've got nowhere to go. If you charge us more, we'll close it down.
There's a whole bunch of strangeness with regards to these middlemen, in that they're almost compulsory. Like if we were to say, well, in that case, we'll simply go PodSafe, and anyone can go straight to iTunes without the middleman. There's certain bodies that sort of stand in the way and say, no, but we want to make sure that the artist gets their money, therefore they must subscribe to our club, as it were, and so it makes it a bit of a bit of a strange old situation, because this was raised when podcasting was first derived, and when people were using regular music, the original people, Adam Curry and so forth, were looking for some kind of a license that could be used, and the music industry just did not want to know.
No.
They wanted to charge the earth, because potentially they're giving away music. Anyone can record a podcast, and they wouldn't then have to buy the music anymore. And they just didn't have the right thoughts behind what we're trying to do.
They didn't get the concept.
They didn't
all,
get the
did
concept. No. We're trying to promote the music. The people that we're playing today, is because we want to broaden everybody's musical experience. We don't particularly want to play whatever's in the charts at the moment simply because they're paying us to. We want to play music because it sounds good, the same way as the DJs used to do back in the good old days.
Yeah, I mean, the PodSafe Music Network as an example, the system does work.
Yeah.
A lot of these artists are making a comfortable living from PodSafe Music without the need for a record company.
That's not to say, of course, that if an artist wanted to be played on the show, that a bribe would be ignored. Of course,
but you see, I really do think that the time of the record label is coming to an end. We don't need them anymore. Back in the day, when, say for example, the Beatles, the only way they could get their music to a mass audience was through a record company, because they had the connections to all the TV stations, all the radio stations, to get their songs played.
Yep.
Now, you don't need those guys anymore.
Yep.
You can get your music out there in so many different ways, specifically through the internet.
Yep.
Through your own website, through MySpace, through your own journals, through podcasting. Your music can be heard through Second Life. Even you can go into Second Life and perform in front of people. And you can then at the end of it say, if you like what you've heard, come to my website or go to iTunes and buy my music. If you like it that much and you want it, go buy it. It's generally a hell of a lot cheaper to buy it that way. I mean, what do iTunes charge? It's about 99 pence a song or something, isn't it? So, I mean, that's £1 for a song, which there's no way you could buy a CD single for £1.
Well, not a current one anyway, no.
Not a current one anyway, no. The only thing you need the big backing for these days is if you were big enough to go on a tour, you'd need somebody to underwrite the tour.
Yeah.
Pay for the accommodation, the transport, the renting of the buildings and payment of staff and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, you need somebody to organise that. And I think this is why bands and groups such as, and artists such as Madonna, U2, Nickelback have just done it as well. They've signed up with these Live Nation guys. Now, Live Nation are not a record company. All they are a merchandising and marketing company. And what they will be doing is underwriting tours, taking care of merchandising and promotion from that point of view. And they will take a larger slice of the... I think this is how it works. They will take a larger slice of the money, the income from the tours and the merchandising than a record company would do, but they don't take as much money from record sales, if any, from record sales. So you can, I think this is where it's going to go. We don't need the likes of Sony Music or Epic Records or those kind of guys. We don't need them anymore.
I'm sorry, whenever you say merchandising, I get What am I going to say?
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Well, exactly. There's that from Spaceballs, but the other thing that I'm always thinking of is little dolls. I don't know why I just think dolls. Again, Star Wars, I think merchandising was the figures more than anything else. And just the thought of having little action figures of Nickelback, that scares me.
Well, you can buy Kiss dolls, can't you? But yeah,
You're stopped. The music's playing.
Thanks.
We've got 30 minutes on that, so...
That'll do. God, I did all of that from memory.
Yeah.
But that's what I like. I'm really liking the way this is now working. Not so much reliance on reading out a story and then discussing it.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
working a lot better.
I took a couple of minutes to actually read about the big draw thing. So
But this is what I did with Tony Hart. I read
Yeah.
it 2 or 3 times today, and then basically recounted it. But it's in your own words then, isn't it?
Yep. It is. No, it isn't. Oh, it is. Oh.
Tag, well I guess you're in. I am feeling it. Please don't tell I am hiding in your bed. Oh, what could this be? You're smiling back at me. Let me see those lips for some la-da-da-da-da. I'd love to tell you everything on my mind. What's on your mind? But I can never find the words to say. Oh, you mean so much to me. You always. As I touch you, live. The look you give lasts for days. So roll with me, we'll play hide and seek all the way. You waited on my mind, you wanted all the time. Let me see those lips for some la-da-da-da-da. I'd love to tell you everything on my mind. What's on your mind? You never find the words to say. Oh, you mean so much to me. You will always. As I touch you, live. The look you give lasts for days. So roll with me, we'll play hide and seek all the way. So roll with me, we'll play hide and seek all the way.
Right, sorry about that. There's just too many buttons. I pressed the button so that you wouldn't get the feedback and then didn't turn the microphone off. So you, Lance and I talking over the start of that track. Lance, remember, next week we'll have to play that track again so that it gets its fair play all the way through, alright? And you've got the show notes there and I haven't. So who was that?
Oh, I've closed it. Hang on. Well, I haven't actually closed it. I just got it open. I was reading the comments in the chat room. It was Any December and Hide and Seek.
Anna December and Hide and Seek. And thank you to those in the room who said, your mic's open. We were debating as to whether to just edit it out so that in the podcast it's all runs smoothly and we look professional, but then who are we kidding? And I would like to say thank you to everybody that is listening live today. We had a bit of a false start at the beginning because of technical problems. So thanks to Dave, Leonie, James, Caroline, and Sam was here earlier, but she's now disappeared. Yes, thank you very much for listening. Right. Have we got anything else to add, sir?
Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of. So shall we
No.
do the obligatory how to contact us stuff then?
Yes, you can give us a call on 07092 274 759.
Our email address is ddl.podshow@googlemail.com.
Our website address is dumbeddownlife.com.
And on Twitter, we are Dumbed Down Life. You can also find us on Facebook, on MySpace, on flipping everywhere we are.
Do you know, the only one we haven't got is the Dumbed Down Life community and live journal.
Didn't we do that?
I don't think we did.
I mean, that's silly, because that's probably like the one place that people would see.
It's the guys that turn up in the chat room week after week. They're all live journal users.
Yeah. Well, actually, looking at the log files for the website, almost entirely links from various live journals. So yeah, that's probably worth doing, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
Right. Well, tomorrow evening will be Friday evening. These weeks seem to be going quickly. Or is it
Yes,
just-
very much.
Tomorrow evening's Friday evening, of course, which is the Bugcast evening, generally around the same time, and then but on a Friday night. And then Tuesday again, it is time for the Random 3. Which is it going to be your Random 3 next week, Lance?
No, I think it's Dave's next week, and then I'm doing one the week after.
So he's getting people giving him information for his show. That sounds like
Yeah.
it's a bit of an easy way to make a show, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
So they're struggling at the last half an hour as to what we're going to put on the show.
We always seem to manage something, don't
We
we?
do something, don't we? Right, so if you're all done,
I'm all done.
I'm all done. So thanks very much for listening, and this time I'll try and remember to turn off the microphone.